Hi everyone. So it's a beautiful sunny day out here on the Eastern Montana Ranch, and we had some fresh snowfall last night, so I'm gonna spend the day looking for any tracks that were left in the snow over the last day, see if we can see what kind of wildlife activity we had around here, and just kind of wander a beautiful place and bring you some amazing footage of some awesome nature. So come join me, should be fun. Some fresh prairie dog tracks out here made just the other day, and I just love how you can see all the prairie dog tracks moving from burrow to burrow and almost creating like this kind of map-like network on the snow, all these kind of lines and patterns going from one burrow to the other. Okay, well, first non-prairie dog tracks of the day, and they're coyote tracks. In the snow down here, we have a really nicely defined coyote track. Got this back heel pad, then the individual toes up here, some nice kind of defined claw marks, and because the snowfall was all last night, this is a really fresh set of coyote tracks. This fallen tree here is just so ridiculously cool. Like, you have this like hollowed out section in the tree over here where it kind of rotted away completely, and then just all these amazing patterns of like bore marks in the tree from insects and stuff like that. And you know, this is just the kind of thing I love about Eastern Montana, is you just find all of these incredibly in-depth and beautiful and sometimes convoluted patterns in the landscape, and all these just like browns and yellows, and there's something about it that just pops to life to you. It's really amazing. More of the coyote tracks kind of going up through this little drainage down here, going uphill, trying to get into the ridge line. Then they drop down to this tiny little gully. I actually love how you can see just this little ridge that just sort of drops down slightly to the other side. That's super cool. Let's see if we can do this without falling in. Then further up here. Aha. So down here, it looks like the coyote stopped for a little bit, trying to figure out where she wanted to go. Kind of swiveled around a tad, and you can just see these extra sets of footprints kind of moving in a circle before she decided to go back uphill over that way. We're getting closer and closer to the golden hour and sunset. There's such a wide area out here. That's the thing about Eastern Montana. You know, Montana has a nickname, Big Sky Country, and it's such a huge state with such wide open spaces in so many of these places. And I can be here for months on end and still have stuff left over to explore. Really love this this lone post here. You know, you have so much open space and so little in the way of human structures, fences, etc. in this area. And then out in the middle of this field, you just have this single lone post that is just like this bastion of evidence of people. So now, some deer tracks. I think these are probably from that same group that I saw earlier that kind of ran into the tree cover and then out of sight. But really clear hoof prints in the ground here. Really interesting to see. I don't know, I love snow tracking so much because it's like, you know, nature's version of the camera trap, where it gives you these insights into these animals that have passed by, and you can see moments of time, and if an animal gets startled and jumps in a certain direction, how quickly they're moving. Just all of these little details that can get out of it are just so amazingly cool. So one of the things when I'm out walking around and setting up stations and stuff like that is often I'll try to find paths and ways to cross areas that are as simple and easy and risk-free as possible. And one of the things that I'll often look out for that helps a great deal when you're trying to find places to set up routes and things like that are find areas in the landscape where the animals themselves walk. Because for me, finding a good place to cross is largely a matter of convenience, and in the case of my fieldwork, repeatability and just making it as risk-free and simple as possible. But for wildlife, there's a whole new dimension where the next meal is never necessarily guaranteed, and they often have to be very careful about where they walk and how much energy they use and things like that. And so they'll often want to find the simplest, most straightforward route possible to cross. And so what I often look for are stuff like down here, where you can actually see the tracks of some animal going down the ditch, across, and then back up. Because if that spot has been deemed by the wildlife as a decent spot to cross, then very likely it's going to be one of the more easy options when you have some area that you want to get across. So looking at for wildlife sign is really, really helpful for determining how you want to move around the landscape. Okay, now that I'm across the ditch and out into this open area, I think I'm gonna try to find a spot that's just like a little bit elevated so I can get views of this kind of forested ridgeline up this way, of some of the more open areas by the sandstone rocks in the distance, and just kind of sit for a while, see if the coyotes move around and try to be quiet. Well, everyone, sun is dipping further and further down, so I think that's it for today. But you know, it's just such a privilege to have access to this place and to be able to just wander around and experience nature in so many of its beautiful forms. Didn't see much wildlife itself, but saw some amazing tracks and just so many beautiful colors and plants and just so much of what makes nature such an amazing thing. So I had a blast out here. So hope you enjoyed yourselves and learned some things about nature and just got to see some incredible bits of Eastern Montana beauty. If you're new to Wanderlust and have not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. I love your company here. And until next time, everyone, wander and wonder. Hope you get some great time outside as well.